Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast brought to you by Little Caesars. Check it out. Again, we got a great deal going on. Everybody out there, I didn't spend. You guys spent over $5,000 last week on Little Caesars. Very, very good. We appreciate that. That makes us look good. Thank you very much. Use these codes right there. All right, now, joined by William Brad Alice. William Brad Alice, where are you in right now? Payson?
I am in Payson, Arizona. Yes,
All right.
at a cabin up here for the Junior State Little League Championships.
All right, so yeah, I was going to say, so you're slumming it up in Payson, huh?
It's tough. You know what? It's hot, though. It's like 95 already.
Yeah, interesting. All right, well, you're up there. What are you up there for, a baseball tournament?
Baseball tournament. The state tournament. My son plays juniors, which is 14 and under. Second straight trip to the thing. We're 2-0. We play Sunnyside, so all Tucson. In the final four of the winners bracket, there's still, I think, 10 teams still alive. Only 2 have been eliminated, but the path is clear. You get 3 more wins, and we're the state champs without a loss. We get a loss, it gets a little more complicated.
All right, Cody's not taking this overlay off, so I will take this overlay off. Hold on just a second. There we go. Okay, cool. All right.
I got a center.
Yeah, there we go. All right, we got a lot to get to this show. All right, so first and foremost, though, we're going to talk some Arizona football. All right, here's where I'm at with Arizona football. Listen, I don't know if they're going to be great or not. Probably not. But I'm going to say this, Brad. I think it's going to be addition by subtraction by not having the 10-second delayed handoff and the play where it is first and goal and you throw the ball 19 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, or 19 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Those are benefits for me that I don't think we're going to see this year.
I mean, I think, and we've talked about this multiple times last year, I don't know what the offense was. Was it pro style? Was it supposed to be a spread? It really looked like Jaden DeLara's version of I'm going to run backwards 20 yards and chuck it up. And, it's easy to put blame on Noah Fifita, but the blame goes to Dino Babers and the offensive staff. They're just, and I hate, I don't like to call out people, but it made no sense. So you bring in our new guy, and I'm not even sure how do you pronounce it, but
Seth Daggy, like
Daggy.
Geese. Think geese.
I've
Seth
seen him.
Daggies.
Hey, and there's a bunch of them up here, and I think of you.
Did you kill any of them yet? Yeah, you would have done the world a service.
Yeah, ton of geese, ton of elk. We've actually had elk like right by our Airbnb. But look, we know they're running a version of the spread. What's it going to look like? We're not quite sure, but there is a plan. They've already talked about, quick drops, getting the ball out quickly, which is something they didn't do last year, even though Brennan mentioned it, I think, in week 7. There's a plan. Daggy has a plan. The question is, can they execute the plan? And my question is not about Noah Fifita. It's mostly about the line. Do they have enough at the receiver position? But I think overall we should see an improved offense because, again, how can you be much worse?
All right, Big Ten Jen says, Mike, I thought you were in Tahoe. No, I won't be in Tahoe until Sunday, and then I might not ever come back. So
my wife just got back. She was up in Tahoe last week for a wedding, and she echoes your sentiment. She wants to move there.
Oh, dude, Tahoe's amazing. You never been to Tahoe?
I have not. I'm in Payson.
Come on, Brad. You got to take the kids there. I was going to say you're just waiting for the right time. All right, fair enough.
I need a baseball tournament.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah, in Tahoe. Yeah, that would talk about killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Actually, I think if we win, we go to Bend, Oregon. So I'm not sure how cool Bend, Oregon is or not.
Sun ain't coming out in Bend, Oregon. I assure you of that. Now, let me ask you this, Brad. You said that you didn't know if Arizona would be able to execute the offense, but isn't that a little bit better than wanting to actually execute last year's offense?
Yeah, I mean, again,
that was good. Brad, do you get it?
I loved it. I gave you the finger. I'm dealing with the camera issue here. I'm used to my laptop. I'm on the cell phone.
Looks good. Yeah. Looks good.
I mean, again, I've been watching Arizona football since about 1980, 81. I've seen some bad offenses, but they all had plans. I all knew what they wanted to be, no matter how bad they were. That was my problem last year. It was just haphazard. Right. It looked amateurish, and obviously you can't do that, especially in modern college. There's no Desert Swarm to bail you out when you're running dives on 3rd and 8. I mean,
right, exactly.
It was just bad.
Okay, now, just so everybody out there knows, so last time I was, 2 years ago, have you ever heard of the Tahoe toe tickler, William Brad Alice?
I have not.
All right. So this was like 3 years ago when I was up there, when I go back to my retreat each year. And the Tahoe toe tickler was going around, and he was breaking into women's houses and tickling and fondling their feet, then scurrying out. Well, they caught the Tahoe toe tickler, and that's all he was doing. How many do you think the minimum the Tahoe toe tickler got when he was sentenced to?
5.
8. Mandatory minimum for Tahoe toe tickling, man. That's just kind of the way it is right here, So again, glad that guy's out of the. And then there was somebody that went missing there too, and like the FBI was there, and so we'll see what happens.
Well, are there parts of the lake that are like ridiculously oceanically deep? So,
yeah, dude, I think it's the deepest lake in North America, or like the deepest lake in like the United States or something like that.
Yeah, there's probably some old Vegas mobsters at the bottom of that thing.
Yeah,
it was second. We looked that up with Jason. Remember, it was second in North America.
All right, what was the second one?
I think there was one in like Oregon or Washington.
Okay, so let's see. So with good time, he'll be out by Sunday. All right, now it's the deepest lake in Tahoe. No, but it's amazing. The lake is like super, super deep. You like look down there and you can like see for days. There's so many geese there and everything though that we have to put Ted Wardo in a backpack. Because like they try to skeep him up. Oh, hey, Rage is in here. Rage, where's my money? You owe me $1,000. You haven't paid yet. Okay, so all right, now Mike puts the body. Oh, hey, you know who died? William, where'd you go? William's gone. And that's not even a read. All right, so William will be back here in a second. I wanted to tell him something about Tahoe, but Cody, let's get a couple reads in here first, and then we're gonna get back to basketball or football. All right, now yeah, Baggins, baby. Now I'm not gonna be able to have any Baggins while I am up in Tahoe. So here's what I need everybody else to do: 12 locations, locally owned and operated. Everybody get into Baggins and check it out. You will thank me later. Yes, that Payson Wi-Fi sucks. Use code AZ12 for 15% off. Join our VIP text club. And again, every sandwich comes with a chocolate chip cookie. Get the cookie, back the cookie, baby. Get the cookie. Okay. Now, what else we got? Okay. All right, yeah. RJ's Frozen Cactus. Now, you might want to say, man, I'm looking for a place with red hot sports and ice cold beer. Well, look no further, my friend. RJ's Frozen Cactus. 100 plus craft beers, $2 deals, no bad seats in the house. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. All right, check it out. Again, great place to go watch some games as well. $100 craft beers, $2 deals. Check it out. Get it. Boom, boom. All right. Now, William is back. Hold on, I'm sad, William. Hello, William. Long time no see.
Yeah, apparently my phone rang and I didn't have it on whatever mode I was supposed to have it on. So
that's all right. Yeah, nobody's watching anyway. It doesn't matter. All right, now let me ask you about this. Do you know where one of the most infamous murders in United States history in cinema? It occurred in Lake Tahoe. Do you know which one?
I do not.
It occurred in a boat.
Is that Corleone getting rid of his brother?
Yeah, that's where Fredo was killed. He said, "See you later, Fredo." And then they pushed him in. That happened in Lake Tahoe, though. I went there looking for.
You broke my heart.
Yeah, no, exactly. You broke my heart, Fredo. No. Godfather 2, Mr. Tyler Warden. No, maybe. All right, now. Okay, so let's get back a little. I want to go position by position here. Brad, I actually am fine with the skill position players. Like last year, you had T-Mac and you had a bunch of not so much. I think you got a lot of pretty good number twos. I like Luke Wysong. I think that I like the Hudson guy. He likes Buffalo spot that they got from Washington State. I think Chris Hunter's decent. So I do like these. I do like the skill position guys, but man, the line terrifies me, Brad.
Yeah, you're going to rely on some guys who have either gotten it done at lower levels, who showed flashes but really didn't do much last year, or just complete unknowns. So, yeah, last year I thought the line was the big issue, and I still think it that way. The good news is you have bodies, you have some potential, but that's all it is right now is potential, and you have to hope you can coach those guys up or get them ready for the big time.
Yeah, and that's what you got to be able to do. So we will see. What do you think about those wide receiver position, though, Brad? Are you cool with it?
It kind of reminds me of some of the Stoops era where I used to say there's a bunch of number 2s and 3s. I'm not sure there's a number 1, but if you have a bunch of guys who are B+ players, then you're probably fine. In fact, I think last year they maybe focused too much on T-Mac, which again, I think everyone and their brother would do. but it took away from some of the ability, and maybe Fifita didn't have time. It's like, where's Noah's down there, or T-Mac's down there somewhere. But yeah, if you can get where you have 3 or 4 reliable guys who any of them could have a 5 to 8 catch game, I think, and again, that's what you want in the spread anyways. The spread is not built around, I think Jeremy Crabtree was that guy at Texas Tech when they ran it, but for the most part.
Who's Jeremy Crabtree?
Was he the Texas Tech receiver?
No,
back
it's
when
Michael
they ran the
Crabtree. We don't mess up
Crabtree.
names on this show. Come on.
I do it all the time. I'm still mispronouncing names from 5 years ago.
We've never mispronounced names on this show ever, Brad.
No,
come on.
Ever. No. So, but that's the point. Jimmy Crabtree was a recruiting guy back when.
Yeah, I was going to say like a Rivals guy or something. Yeah.
He was with Rivals when we became Scout, and that was 9 Shannon Terry businesses ago.
Yeah, I was going to say right. Yeah.
Yeah. But the point is, you usually don't have a 1,500-yard guy in a true spread offense. You have a bunch of 6, 7, 800-yard guys, and if Arizona has that, they're going to be very successful.
All right, now Big Ten Jet says, Mr. William, how optimistic are you that Arizona can finish in the top half of the conference? Is that a possibility? Can they go bowling? If we go bowling and we finish in the top half of the conference, it is a success, William Brad Alice.
Here's the thing. I could make a case for 3 wins. I can make a case for 8 wins, and I have no idea because I don't know. In this day of transfers and everything, I have no idea. No one saw ASU coming. Right. Who was supposed to be great last year and was, on paper, Texas Tech looks great with all their transfers. Can they mesh them? Right. On paper, you assume ASU is going back to the CFP, but
I don't know. You lose Cam Scattaboo.
It's such a weird thing. I mean, I don't know how good Baylor's going to be. I don't know how good Oklahoma State should be good, but they weren't last year. I mean, I don't know. Right. I don't know how much improved Arizona's going to be. So,
well, we can't be much worse, Brad.
No, they can't. To me, if you can't go bowling, you at least need to be competitive more often than not. What were they competitive in 5 games last year?
Brad, do you like my theory, though? And again, I think this is a very good theory. If we're going to suck, I want to be entertained.
I want to be entertained, and I don't want to be blown out, especially by mediocre teams like Central Florida.
We don't want to lose to UCF by 56-7, and when that 56-7, oh yeah, by the way, they were with their 4th string quarterback. You know what's funny? Everybody's saying in this chat that I should ban Rage until he pays. Rage owes me $1,000, and we actually thought he was going to pay, but Rage has not paid, and there is no indication that Rage will pay. Very sad. Okay, so all right, now going back to the running backs, though, what do you think about Risano? I like Risano. I mean, you look at him; he was a top 10 back last year. Not only was he a top 10 back last year, 2 years ago, coming out of the college or high school football ranks, but he was also a guy too that you put him with Ishmael Mahdi. I kind of like the running back unit. I think the running back unit's going to be improved.
Yeah, he showed some good things, and that was the one I thought bright spot of the team last year. I mean, obviously our guy Jacoski Merritt was in there for like an hour, but he did well. Mm-hmm. Conley Quayle was
Quayle
good.
Conley.
Yeah, and Risano showed me something. So again, I know Mahdi is supposed to be really good too, and they did that with a really bad line. So can they scheme these guys? And again, the spread as it traditionally is, and again, I don't know what tweaks we have, takes advantage of spreading that defense out, quick hitters, draw plays. They got to be good receivers out of the backfield, but I think they have talent at running back. I think you could even go down to some of the younger guys, some of the recruits as well. Again, it's going to come down to line play.
Yeah. So that's it is going to come down to the line. Now let's talk a little bit about Ben White's favorite position, the tight end. I've always thought with with Kean Burnett, the key with Kean is staying healthy. When you see Kean, he looks the part. That's what you're supposed to look like. The problem is you can't stay healthy, and on top of that, when you've got a top-notch pro prospect like Sam Olsen in front of you, you got to stay healthy.
I think the key with Burnett is, yes, keeping him a key. Burnett, get it?
Yeah. Do you get it? Oh, the key with key. It's so good.
I made that one on accident, but you're rubbing off on me, Mike. I might start singing off key here soon.
You're gonna start singing MNBA or start singing MNFL.
No, that one's not going. But with Burnett, I think obviously he needs to be healthy, but I think it's putting him in a good spot. He's not your traditional road grader, stop.
Brad's gone again. All right. Well, we're waiting for Brad to come back from the cabin. Here's where I'm at though with the offensive. Here's where I'm at though when it comes to the skill guys. But I'll tell you what. Let's get some reads in here first. Everybody, stay on deck. I'm by myself now. I am floating. I'm like a beetle on my back, and you know that's never a good thing. But here, everybody, let's talk about the championship package. Look at this. This woman is about to get the championship package, and she knows what she is in for. She is excited. Dental implants at affordable rates. Daily urgent care, Monday through Friday. My parents are going there today. They're getting their checkup. So, again, the championship package, $19.97, my friend. Only offers necessary treatment owned by local Arizona alumni. Check it out. Boom. Check it out. Okay, now. All right, now let's see here. Oh, Brad, where are you? I don't see you anywhere now.
You might need to fix something about that.
Oh, no. All right, I don't see Brad anywhere. Oh, Arizona Primary Eye Care. They are going to make Brad unblurry. 4 locations for routine exams, proud partner of Arizona Athletics. Now, they got a great July promo right here. Look at this. Now, the July promo, 15-year anniversary, 50% off prescription clearance, sunglasses, 60-plus insurance is accepted, same-day urgent visits. Boom. Check it out. Optical options to fit all budget styles and preferences, proud partner of Arizona Athletics. Let's get them all filled up in there. ArizonaPrimaryEyeCare.com. Okay, now, let's all right, so the offensive line. Here's where I'm at with the offensive line and why I'm a little concerned about the offensive line. I didn't see anything from Oglesby last year that impressed me at all, and generally you don't lose somebody like a Jonas Savanea and get better. And generally, when you have somebody like a Wendell Moy who looked like he was on the verge of big things and he takes a massive step back, I don't look at it and say that that's going to be like I said, I don't got a lot of faith. So I don't got a lot of faith in the O-line.
I saw nothing to give me faith, but again, I'm so soured on Dino Babers' offense that I don't know who to blame. So I'm willing to give Oglesby a mulligan because he is a fairly well regarded.
I'll give him one mulligan, even though I don't like it.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. Again, I'm that way. That's my overall thing with Brennan as well. He gets a mulligan. But I need to see something from a lot of these guys. There's only a couple guys I'm sold on, and one of them's calling plays.
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, that's where I'm kind of at with him. But again, people like John Fina, people like Glenn Parker, they know more than I do. So that being said, I'm still going to go. I thought it was a terrible job last year, but we shall see. Because generally, guys like Jonas Savanea don't come around, a lot here, and I don't know.
Well, oddly enough, Arizona had 2 in a row when you include Jordan Morgan too. So
right, yeah. I mean, so Arizona's in pretty good shape, as we all know. Okay, now, so the offense though, what's your take? What is a statistical expectation for Noah Fifita for you? Do you have one?
I don't have one. Obviously, I just want to look like an offense that he can succeed in, and I don't know what that is. I would love to see him somewhere around at least 3,500 yards. I don't know if that's possible. Obviously, I just don't want to see him running around 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage in a shotgun. I don't want to see him hanging onto the ball and chucking it downfield. Because there were times last year, and again, I'm not blaming Noah, where he looked like Khalil Tate.
Well, no, I'm not. You want to know why I'm not blaming Noah? Because Noah, the entire time, he's been known as a cerebral quarterback. He's been known as somebody, and I got the sense, and tell me, and Brad, you know more than me, but tell me, I got the sense watching them that it felt like Noah was almost having to coach himself. That it was like Peyton Manning when he would like coach, and they were like, oh, he doesn't need to know C. He's just going to go out there and do whatever he wants. It kind of felt like that. Yeah,
it looked just like there was no structure. If you want to put it in there's no business plan. There was no thing on the script that says reach out to Little Caesars and Eris Dental and The Rock.
Welcome to The Rock.
There's no business plan. The offense looked amateurish, and I don't have an explanation because Dino Babers had a better track record than that. So I have no idea. It was baffling to me.
Yeah, it was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Honestly, I've watched I haven't watched it. So I go back to 93. You go back to 73. But so I've watched every Arizona football and basketball game since 1993. Now, 1993, the New Orleans game with Irvin not Magic Johnson when I was at Brunswick. So I've watched a lot of bad football. I've watched a lot of bad offenses. Last year, I thought was the worst. Not necessarily the result, but because there was some decent talent, and the fact is I had no clue what they were trying to do. I at least knew with the Tomey teams that he didn't want to score. He wanted to keep the game 6-3, but this team had no defense, and it looked like they didn't want to score.
Even, again, some of the bad Stoops offenses, I knew what – and, again, I also had a better relationship with the coaches. They could explain to me, what handcuffs were on. Yeah. Even the Sumlin-Mazzone offense – you knew what the offense was. They just couldn't execute it.
Right.
Last year, what was it? Was
Nothing.
It pro? I think it's pro style. But again, who takes a 7-step drop in the gun, putting your 5'10" quarterback 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see. By the way, Kobe says this is a big part. Rage. I lost a bet to Kobe, and guess what? I paid it. You should pay too, Rage. Okay. Now, that's kind of where that. Like I said, I've watched a lot of bad offenses. I had to pretend that Brady Batten was really good. It is what it is.
That was my college era. Dudes at the U of A love Brady Batten like they love Joe McClain.
Brady Batten actually won a bowl game. He was 1-0 in bowl games as a starter. What was that, New Mexico Bowl?
No, I think that was the Weiser-Lock Copper Bowl.
Right.
Against New Mexico.
Yeah, it was against New Mexico. I think Kelvin was the MVP of that game, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah, basically Ortiz and Keith said give the start to Brady, and he responded.
Yeah, so all right, I'll give him some credit on that.
But white dudes at the U of A love that guy back in the 90s.
Can you please explain to some people out there that Joe McClain was not good?
McClain for 3 years was not good.
Okay. And the senior year,
he was a role player. He was a role player. He was no Gabe York.
He was terrible his first 3 years. Now, fourth year,
he hustled. People love the hustle.
But man, dude, like I get all these people bitching about ADO saying he's like the worst starter here. No, ADO as a junior was light years better than Joe McClain as a junior. Period.
The difference was Joe didn't start. Corey started.
No,
so most of the time.
Corey
should have started all the time, though.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Batavia's finest, baby. All right, now let's get to so the offense. Now the defense. This is going to be fascinating because I actually like the secondary. Yeah,
overall the secondary is good. You'll miss Gunnar Maldonado, but I think you brought in enough guys. You retained enough guys. You and I are big Genesis Smith fans.
Do you think he's in? Do you think he's in the MNFL in 2 years?
I think there's a good chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of it's going to depend on. Is he physical enough to be a strong safety? Is he fast enough to be a coverage guy? The NFL is
the what?
The NFL. When a woman football league is a good alternative, I might consider it.
Okay, all right. But you won't do it with the. Why won't you do it with the MNBA though? Because there is another league.
Women can play in the NBA. There's no restriction.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's crap, though, Brad. You should just say it. Just say it one time, and I'll never ask you again. Just say MNBA.
You know what? We'll save it we'll make a bet on something, and then I live up to my bets.
Oh, Rage. That's a shot at Rage. Okay, now.
Hey, I got one of our coaches. He's shaving his head if we win on Thursday, and he's got a good head of hair, so.
All right, now Javier says, all right, Javier, hey, I got to tell you about our pal Javier here in the chat. So you can see the comments, right?
I can't. I have to click a separate button because I'm on the cell phone. Normally I can't. I'll switch it over if I need to.
Okay, Javier runs a very tight ship when it comes to his U of A coaches. He believes that if a coach doesn't win a championship in basketball every 4 years, out. Get rid of him. Not good enough. So there's that. Now he also
Lute wasn't good enough.
Yeah, Lute sucked. Okay. Basically, yeah, Lute sucked. Yeah. Who wants that guy in there?
Because Lute didn't win it till year 10, 11.
Yeah, exactly. And he only won one. And he was here for 24 years? That's not good enough. He should have had 6. Yeah. And, all right, so he believes, all right, now let me ask you this. He says, I don't believe in Danny Gonzalez, Mike Luke. He thinks he stinks. You know, Danny Gonzalez actually has a fairly good reputation as a play caller. His wife is from Barstow. They like Del Taco, so I give them credit on that. The problem though, Brad, I look at it, I just don't see a lot of I just don't see a lot of talent though. That's
No, I don't know. They're deep up front. I just don't know if they're good. That's the problem. They got a lot.
Well,
of
we got depth. We don't know if it sucks though.
And they have size. Like we're not trotting out 240-pound defensive tackles.
Yeah.
I just don't know if any of them are good, and they might be. And really, you need 7 to 8 defensive linemen. If you got 7 or 8 quality defensive linemen, your front line's good. I just don't know what they have. I mean, we know they got a little bit of talent at the end, a little bit of talent inside, but that's 1 or 2 guys. I need 6 to 8 minimum. And if they have that, then they can be a pretty good defense because you only need good play at linebacker in a modern defense. As long as you got the DBs and you got the front 4.
You know, I'm going to make a case here. Arizona State was picked to finish last year, or last in the Big 12 last year. This team is going to pick to finish last. Why can't we do what ASU did last year?
I mean, I would say I don't know why they can't, other than I don't know if they have enough talent. But again, on paper, ASU didn't look great. But we didn't know Sam Levitt was going to be as good as he was. Right. We knew Scadaboo was good. I don't think we knew he was the second coming of every great Stanford running back.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I mean, and again, Kenny did a great job. And again, I said when they hired him and Arizona hired Jedd Fisch that would be a very interesting comparison because Kenny wanted this job at Arizona. Arizona passed on him. I don't know if it seemed like a great decision to pass on him for Jedd Fisch, but he seemed a little bit too young, and he's done a great job at ASU, as much as I hate to admit it. As much as I'm going to go have to drink a gallon of bleach when we're done here, Kenny Dillingham has done a great job. Even his corniness, I think, I thought the thing with not having the game for the guy last year seemed like a calculated mistake. It wasn't. Some of his comments have been a little strange of the recruiting stuff, or the guys put a good product on the field, and Arizona, could play second fiddle unless Brett Brennan can.
We don't play second fiddle in this state. We are a football school, Brad. As we all know, I think this is going to come down to the offense, though. Here's where I'm at. Tell me if I'm wrong. I believe I need to have the offense be top 6 in the conference. If it's top 6 in the conference, I think we can do some stuff.
If they're top 6 in the conference and the defense isn't bottom 4, this is a bowl team. I just don't know if that happens.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that Brent Brennan is Brent Brennan back next year?
I think so.
So you think they get?
I do think Arizona's better. Yeah, I don't think they can be much worse. And again, some of it's the money situation as well.
Yeah,
to be honest.
All right, yes. So there is all right, so we will see. I do think that ASU is going to take a big step back because I just don't think you can replace somebody. I just don't think you can replace somebody like Scadaboo.
I would say that, and there's a lot of teams like this. And it was Arizona a couple years ago. There was a certain magic to what ASU did. What Indiana did last year, what a few other teams did. It's hard, and we've seen it with Arizona teams that have gone 10, 12 wins, to recapture that magic, even with most of the same personnel coming back. Does that mean I think ASU regresses to a 5 or 6? No. But it's going to be really hard for them, hard for a team like Indiana to go back to the national playoffs.
Look at the track record the last 30 years. Neither one of these teams ever strings together good seasons in a row. It's one good season, then it's right back into being meh.
Like I said, I think ASU's probably 8 or 9 wins? Yeah. But I don't think they're going to be the 10, 11, 12 you need to be in the college football playoff. And that's no slight to ASU, as much as I like to slight ASU. In fact, the Airbnb here has an ASU sign, and I got to leave them a negative review because of it.
You should. No, you should tell them you felt uncomfortable.
I did, especially when you're wearing the Arizona baseball.
Yeah, you felt violated. You should say that.
Exactly. But the fact is, ASU's still good. It'll be really interesting if Dillingham what kind of success he can maintain. Because it's really been since John Cooper, since they've been able to put those multiple, 2, 3, 4 really good years together.
Did Bruce Snyder, was he able to have 2 good years or no?
I'm sure he had 2 good years. I don't think they ever had 3. And that's the hard thing, right? You can go, we've seen them like Arizona go 10 wins and then drop, or 10 to 8 wins and then drop. ASU's kind of the same thing. Find them 3, 4, 5 years of more than 6, 7 wins has been really tough at these 2 schools. And frankly, most schools. Let's be honest. I mean, people hate on what's his face at Oklahoma State, Gundy. That guy wins 9 every year, and that's really tough to do, especially when you're the second team in that state.
Right. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Now, do you think a Big 12 team can a Big 12 team win the national championship? Is that possible anymore in football? It's clearly is.
Is it possible anymore? Yes. Is it possible right now? No. There's no big dogs right now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you don't have a blue blood.
Yeah.
Which is going to make this league fascinating. But if Oklahoma State was going to be that team, they'd be that team already.
Is Texas Tech with all that money, all that oil money?
Oklahoma State has all that money too, right?
Yeah. Do they still have T-Bone Pickens? Is he still there?
No, he's passed away, but I think he left them like $8 billion.
T-Bone Pickens?
Yeah, I thought he passed away, but I think again, his corpse writes a check every couple of years. Yeah, I think the team that's probably most suited to do it would probably be Utah. Only because they have that system in place. But again, I just don't know if they're good enough to consistently string those, 3-4 wins together. That's really tough. You have to have so much depth. You can't, because again, you can't just get lucky for a night. You have to get lucky for like 3 weeks, and that's tough to do. So yeah, I would say as of now, no one's built to win a championship.
Yeah.
But the interesting is, in the next 10 years, 7 different teams could go.
Right.
Maybe more, if you can get those 2 slots. Because
West Virginia in 3 years, great call. West Virginia with Rich Rod. That's where it's going to happen.
That might. I forgot about Rich Rod there, which I don't know why. I really want someone to go to Houston too, and just get the Arizona.
I don't think.
No, I don't think so. But wouldn't that be hysterical? But yeah, so it's going to be tough just because there are no blue bloods. West Virginia might be the closest to a blue blood. I mean, they were pretty consistent there with John over the years with all their different coaches.
Yeah. All right, let's get a couple reads in here. All right, back the reads. What do we got? All right, what do we got, Cody? Back the reads. The reads. Welcome to the Rock. Green Valley Decorative Rock, my friends. All right, now you might say to yourself, Mike, I can never remember where they deliver to. East to Sierra Vista Benson, west to Marana, south to Nogales, north to Oracle. And the great thing about it, too, they got 2 convenient locations. Brad, you heard for months about the scurrilous rumors being tossed around about Green Valley Decorative Rock, correct?
They're terrible.
Yeah. Well, no, Green Valley Decorative Rock isn't terrible, but the rumors are terrible.
The rumors, they're besmirching a great name.
Yeah, they are not just in Green Valley. They are in
I can vouch for that.
Yes, they are. Yes, I was supposed to real time, and I did not real time. I do apologize, Mr. Dennis Welsh. You were correctly called.
They're literally around the corner from my house.
Brad, you should go. You need to go take it. Will you ever real time a picture?
Yeah. Heck, if this sounds good enough, we could just broadcast them in front of their sign.
Yeah, no, seriously. Oh, we should do like an on assignment Green Valley Decorative Rock, baby. Yeah, check it out. Either way, back the rock. 50
I could do that with Aris Dental at work too.
Yeah, no, you just need to go in there.
I could hit them with a football from work.
You just need to do that.
I don't have a good arm.
You just need to do that from the lobby. But yeah. So either way, check it out. Green Valley Decorative Rock. You'll thank me later. Boom.
I don't think they come all the way up to Payson, though. But
I don't think so. But I mean, they will. Everyone's got a price. I mean, I think they were going to deliver to Alcatraz. Brad's gone for a second. He'll be back. Okay, now Comfort XH. All right, first of all, Joseph, you are the king of not real timing your promises. Okay, now, either way, Comfort XH. Now, you might say to yourself, man, I want one of those really styly AZ12 prep t-shirts. Well, guess what? You don't buy one, you can go through Comfort XHVAC, my friend. Small business with big savings, built on trust for the long haul. Residential and commercial HVAC expertise at affordable rates. ComfortXHVAC.com. Again, get in there, look at all that stuff. We made Tony Chimino, one of the most unhappy, surly individuals that this city has ever known.
Except when he's winning championships.
Yeah, when he's winning pickleball championships. I play pickleball on Thursdays at Corbett. I'm very good. I will play tomorrow. Yeah, either way, Tony Jamino, they saved him $2,000. Be like Tony Jamino. Check this out. Boom. Okay. Now, do you think the defensive line is going to be good enough, Brad?
That's the big question. Again, we talked about this a little while ago. They've got bodies, they've got depth, they've got size. I just don't know if they have talent.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's because look how many guys they brought in. They brought a couple guys from McNeese State and other
Northwestern State.
Yeah. You've got. Can they adjust?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of concerns about.
I don't know. I have a lot of concerns, but at least there's no. Hey, again, you're not converting tight ends. You're not bringing in a 240-pound walk-on. You've got legit Big 12 size. I don't know if you have legit Big 12 players.
The one thing I got to give them is they've injected a lot of girth into the defensive line. So we got to go with that. What do you think about the injected girth into the defensive line?
I'm not always a big fan of injecting the girth, but if you can bolster with the girth, I'm all for it.
I was going to say, one way or the other, if you can make the girth suffice, then that will be it.
I feel better about using girth when we're talking about linemen than I do centers for some reason. I don't know why.
What about tight ends with girthy tight ends? Inject the girth into the tight end position.
Someone might need an OnlyFans for that.
Okay, now, Mr. Tyler Warden says the step back was my fault, not Noah's. Duh. Yeah, I would agree with that one. Congrats, Coach. Yes, give him credit on that. Okay, now I want to also talk a little bit of Arizona basketball here. We have obviously haven't had Brad on a little bit. Brad, what are your expectations for next year's team before we kind of go position by player by player?
We're gonna play. I think they're deep. I'm anxious to see the Rush Germany kid. I don't
just
know
call him Cold Soup. That we call him Cold Soup, guys. On this
Cold
team.
Soup, okay. Because he's kind of the key to me because you got to have some scoring from the wing. I feel pretty good about them. Girthy in the middle. Obviously, you bring back Owaka. I'm still a Krivas guy. I actually like. I don't know how many minutes you're going to get out of them, but the two African kids. Then you throw in, obviously, Koa Pete. We know he's going to play. So that's at least 3 legit guys, and it could be as many as 4 or 5. Obviously, me and Jaden Bradley, he's my guy.
Yep.
Hopefully ADO has a smaller role, but I like him as a role player. I mean, he can knock down the 3. He's been clutch at the line late in games. So I think you have enough talent around. Who's your go-to scorer? Who is the guy at crunch time? And do you have enough scoring from the wing? Again, Aristode's kind of a mystery. Obviously I think Burries is going to have a lot of touches. I'm probably forgetting 3 or 4 kids that can also contribute because this is a pretty deep, albeit young team.
Right. Yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about Koa Pete. I think Koa Pete's going to be the best freshman of the Lloyd era. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be. I'm telling you, and I know everybody keeps saying, look how you're going to replace Carter Bryant, all of this stuff. The biggest difference from last year's team to this year's team on paper should at least be going from Trey Townsend to Koa Pete.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's an instant upgrade because I think, again, the other guys you lose, with maybe the exception of Caleb Love, although from a number standpoint, wouldn't shock me if Burries isn't close. It's that leadership. But Pete is the one guy who seems like he's a clear upgrade at that position. Townsend was a shell of the guy we saw at Oakland. I know Krivas didn't look great before he got hurt, but I think he can give you.
I trust Tommy. That's where I'm at with the big man. I trust Tommy.
I can give you. I think again, you're gonna miss Henry Vasar, but Krivas should be probably. I think Krivas will actually have better overall numbers. Whether again he has a better impact, I don't know. Because Henry seemed to be big when they needed him to be big, girthy when they needed him to be girthy.
Yeah.
But Koa Pete is a different player than they had last year.
Yes, for sure. Now, I want to talk about Carter Bryant for a second. Do you think is Carter Bryant going to have a Dallin Terry NBA career? Do you think where he gets drafted kind of in the mid-teens, but never really? He just kind of won. What do you? What kind of pro? Actually, no. You think he's going to be an all MNBA player, though, don't you?
I don't think he's going to be all NBA, but I think he'll be a very good player. I think the worst thing for him is the best thing for him. He went to the Spurs. Mm-hmm. Really, the best thing he can be probably on that team is the 3rd or 4th option, but that might be really good for him too because he's going to have that time to develop. They've got that infrastructure in place. I think he can be a very good 10 to 12 year 3-and-D guy, at least. Um, Maybe like a Trevor Ariza type career, maybe better, maybe not
I
quite
like
as
it.
good. But he's that guy who's just, as long as the NBA game stays where it's at now or similar, you're always going to need 3-and-D guys. He's big enough that he can every once in a while, give you some defensive help against bigger guys. So I think he has a good long career. And I thought, again, maybe we make this bet for 20 years down the line. Is he better or worse than Richard Jefferson? I think that's a very good measuring.
I will take you up on that bet, my friend. I will definitely.
I think it's a great, but I think that's a very realistic spot. Richard Jefferson had a very good, but at what, B plus career in the NBA.
Richard had like 4 years where he averaged between 18 to 22.
He did, and he won what? He won a championship or two. I'd be very interested if we go back, because I have never done this. Who had a better career, Jefferson or Sean Elliott? Because I think Jefferson had some times when he was the better scorer. I think Elliott might be in the more consistent player.
I think Elliott was probably better. The problem with Elliott is that, you got 3-4 years of your career or your prime that are.
And you also played with, 2, 3, 4 Hall of Famers?
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
That's an interesting one.
But I think the Carter Bryant, can he be Richard Jefferson? Can he be Trevor Ariza? And if he's that or better, then he has a great NBA career. Not to say being a slightly less than that wouldn't be a very good NBA career, but, you want to be better than, Zeke Naji or Green, who are very well paid not to play a whole lot.
You want to pay me $1 million to not play or anything? Yeah, I will.
Zeke's making 8 or 9 to not play.
Yeah, good for him, man. Seriously, and plus you keep your knees healthy. Everything, I like it.
That guy's going to go make $80 million and go play 3 years in China for $30 million a year.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. It's definitely good to be Zeke Naji. So yeah, so there is that. All right, now the backcourt though. You called Braden Bradley. You called Jaden Bradley. I like Jaden Bradley. I like the backcourt, honestly. I think that Jaden probably be a little bit better than last year. I think Braden Burries is probably a little bit of a step back from Caleb. But, there were also some games, too, where Caleb was just terrible. I love Caleb, but there were some games, too, where – what are you looking for out of Mr. L. Besides the Furries for Burries movement?
I just want to see a guy who can get you – close to, if not over, double-figure scoring, who is occasionally the guy you can kind of turn loose. Because that's my big worry. Again, who's the guy who's going to get you those buckets? Because as good as I think Koa Pete is, as good as Jaden Bradley can be, it's really hard for a power forward to get you. I mean, we saw that with Tubelis. It's really hard to get your power forward the ball sometimes when you need buckets, when they're not a inside out or an outside in type guy. And I know Pete has a little bit of a stroke, but that's not his game. His game is bully ball, athleticism. So can Burries get in the lane and get you that tough shot late in games? Can Jaden Bradley be that guy? Because again, Bradley, not a great scorer. Bradley's a great all-around basketball player. So who's that guy in crunch time who can go to the basket, get the bucket, get the foul, get the pass, and do they have a crunch time guy?
Right. Yeah. So there's
again, we've seen some good Arizona teams that haven't had that one guy.
Right.
We saw a couple of years ago. Sometimes it was Pella, sometimes it was Caleb Love, sometimes it was. So maybe that's what this team is. But sometimes you just want to know the ball's going to be in Salim's hands, the ball's going to be in Sean's hands, and you're going to live and die by your best player.
I'm incredibly intrigued by the small forward position this year between Aristode, Yvonne, Yvonne, and obviously ADO. I'm interested now. Brad went away again. Maybe that's a sign to get a couple reads in here. Let's get a couple reads in here while Brad reconnects. All right, back the reads. Zach Mooney. All right. Nova Home Loans. This is the time, everybody. Call Nova Home Loans. Ready to purchase or refinance your home? Take your shot with the Mooney team. Zach Mooney, NovaAZLoans.com, 520-230-5599. Scan this QR code, everybody. Scan this QR code, everybody. Hit like and subscribe. Go to Zach Mooney. Like I said, they can help you out. They can get you something that you need. Check it out. Nova AZ Loans. This is the time to purchase or refinance your home. They can get you going, and it's because it works. The Mooney team. Boom. All right, Longview, Andre Veras. I'm not going to endorse Andre Veras under any circumstances. People keep trying to get me to. He keeps trying to get me to. Won't do it. I will highly recommend. Now, did you recently change jobs? Let's, did your 401k and learn about your all that stuff? Do you have a young family? Do you feel like you're doing okay but not confident you're on the right track? Let's create clarity around your goals and finances. Give Andre a call at 520-325-3456 and reference the AZ12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. Boom, check it out. Okay, now, all right. All right, yeah, Foster Plumbing, baby. All right, now, here's the deal, Brad. Did you know that plumbing does not just say, hey, we'll act up from 8 to 5, and then after that we'll be good? Did you know that? It doesn't say that.
I kind of know that all too well, yes.
Now, Foster Plumbing says 24/7 service, my friend. 10% off when you mention the AZ12 podcast. Call 520-603-3817 to schedule service today. Drain cleaning, water heaters, sewer line, all that stuff. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Gas, water, sewer repairs, all that stuff. Boom. Okay, now also, it says 5-of-Kind Media. Can we invest in AZ12 Prep? Yes, we're going to work on that. But the thing about it, though, is that we're going to have Foster Plumbing there at AZ12 Prep, so that's going to be big. Okay, now.
Well, that's good. You need running water for a high-quality prep school.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's all we're going to do. Okay, so I still want to know why there's a pipe coming out of the front of the cabinet. I don't know, Dennis Welsh. It's a good question. Okay, so, Brad, now, the small – no.
Is there a pipe?
No, it was on the Foster.
I'm like, wait, is something broken?
No,
here?
you look good. You look good.
Okay.
By the way, Brad, you know what's cool about Tucson is the community here that everybody has. Because, like, I see Shelby in the comments. I was going to say, you guys both have a connection to Marana, and you kind of edged her in the right direction to get a job. I very much like that, Brad. That's very nice of you.
Well, like I said, I knew she was looking at the time. She had very young kids. They're kind of high schoolers now. And a good friend of mine was leaving, and I knew she did event planning. So I reached out to Jason.
Yep.
And
that was very good.
At the time, we were just stopped being competitors, and people always just assumed we hated each other. But I'm like, I never had a problem with Jason.
Right.
Some other people who used to run websites, not real fond of. But
I was going to say. Well, so either way, very much appreciate you helping out Shelby there. That was good work.
And they love her there. I still have many good friends at the town of Marana, and they love her there. They sing her praises. So
okay, what are you looking for from now that small forward position? Dwayne Aristode, Yvonne, are you looking for somebody to take the hammer by the nail and basically say this is my job and put that vice grip on it?
I haven't seen enough of either kid to know, but I think if one of them does, it's going to be Ivan or Yvonne or. Cold soup is as you guys are calling them.
Cold soup.
Where'd that? I don't even want to know. I think of the two, he seems most. And again, maybe that's because we are just completely disrespecting poor Aristode, who seems to be one of the least talked about 4/5 stars in program history. There's a few in the Miller era, but he's right up there.
Right.
So for all I know, he's going to come in and average 15 and just be this freak of nature athlete that he looks to be.
He was rated as a top 10 player before the injuries, so boom.
Yeah. So I think if you can get competent play out of both kids, we haven't seen as many of these freshman laden teams. I guess other than Duke last year, but I think people are undervaluing what really high quality freshmen can do, because you've got 3 somewhat domestic guys who played at a really high level for a really long time, going 3-time gold medal winning Koa Pete. And then you've got the international guys who have played at some of the highest levels, including pro ball.
Right.
So they're going to step in, and these aren't this isn't Jordan Hill, who didn't even play AAU ball till he was like a junior, was playing at a small little tiny high school and needed a year to develop. Now they still may need some time to develop, but there's a very good chance 2, 3, even 4 of them can come in and play serious minutes. And if you're Koa Pete and Braden Burry's mate, you could be stars right away.
Now, do you think that? Let me ask you this: Do you think that? Do you think this can be Tommy's best team?
Yeah, I think it can be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Now, whether it is or not, again, it depends on development and gelling. Because again, there's a lot of new bodies. But yeah, this certainly can be his best team, and it could be one that maybe takes a while. Is not quite as strong with that meat grinder schedule, but suddenly in March, you know, if you, to me, the goal is now. I mean, obviously, you always want to be second weekend, but he needs an Elite Eight, Final Four type run to really cement his coaching legacy here a little bit. So if you can get to that Elite Eight game with this group, then yeah, I think they're talented enough. But again, college basketball is more wide open than ever.
All right, Chris S says if ADO starts, then it won't be his best team. See, I don't really care about the starting. I care about the minutes. Like if ADO's playing like 12 minutes per game, but he's starting, I don't really care. But if like ADO's playing like 22 minutes per game or whatever the case may be, I don't like that.
People forget Kevin Flanagan started the majority of the games in '94.
Yep, I know.
It got to the point where Lute just started him to start him because he was the lucky charm.
Right.
And then Joseph Blair would come in and play 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm not as concerned with who starts as who finishes and who's logging 25 minutes, 20 minutes at the small forward / wing position.
Yeah, so that's I was going to say that. Yeah, that's a Gen Z thing. So we'll blame it there. He's going to start. He started last year. All right. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, Kobe. Can you imagine? By the way, Kobe Thiel. He's in the comments right now. Can you imagine not having air conditioning in your car and it's 112 degrees out? That is brutal. You're asking for a stroke.
I've had that a few times. I've lost.
You've lost a lot of friends in that.
No, I've lost it twice on the way to San Diego through the desert there. Yeah.
Right. That's tough. No, but that's like I said, it's difficult that he doesn't have it. Like I said, man, we need to get a GoFundMe going for his AC. But either way, all right. So now back to the rock, baby. All right, now Arizona basketball. I think Krivas. I am warming to Krivas. Now there's people like Dennis Walsh in here that say that Krivas, there's no chance he's going to be good. He doesn't like the flip shot. He thinks he's soft. This and that. But I am going to say this, Brad left again. I'm going to say this, though. I think he's going to be very good back to the basket. I think he's going to be somebody that's probably going to get you about, 11 and 7, something like that. That is where I am looking at from Mount Krivas, and I think that he's got the girth to bang in the Big 12. I think that he's going to be able to bang a lot of guys in the Big 12 with the girth, and I think it's going to be, it'll be interesting. But here's all I'm going to say. That's kind of where I'm at. Okay, now Krivas isn't trash, but he isn't great. Adventures of Fluffy. Oh, William is back. William is back.
That was actually the internet at the cabin, not spam callers trying to find out how many car accidents I've been in.
Oh yeah, or from like Trico Electric calling you or something, and it's like, okay. Sure he has girth, but will he bang? I don't know. That's going to be the question. We're going to find out if he's going to bang or not. I mean, that's going to be the question.
Well, here's the thing. We've seen enough evidence that we know that Krivas is competent.
Right.
And when you've also got Tobe Awaka and Koa Pete, competent's fine.
Right.
Now, to make a special run, yes, he has to be better than competent, but he was fine the year before. I mean, he was good. He was fine. But not great, but he was good. They need him to be a little bit better than that. Or, again, they need one of those super young guys. I don't think either one's quite ready for prime time, but at least they have bodies. That's better than having to rely on a 6'6" power forward.
Yeah, exactly. And, Ben White was talking about it. I mean, when you got in the Big 12, you're going to have to bang. This is not the same thing as it is in the Pac-12 where you have where you basically have, it doesn't really matter. You don't need any men of girth. You don't need anything like that. Big 12 is different, period.
No, it is. It's a much more physical conference, which we saw last year.
All right, now, let's see here. Dennis Walsh is so mean. How many turnovers will Krivas have to players under 6 feet? Dennis Walsh hates Krivas. He said that he thinks he's the worst player that he's ever seen here.
Well, that's impossible because ADO's on the team.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's so much hate to go around.
Yeah, there's so much. Everybody be nice out there, yes.
Does Dennis Walsh like Kirill better than Krivas, you think?
Oh, that's a good question. That is
no one should like Kirill better than anyone. Including, why did he play over Alex Jacobson? Alex Jacobson was completely
Yeah.
meh, but he was better than
Oh
Kirill.
yeah, but no, Kirill was awful. Kirill was one of the worst big men that I've ever seen here. And there's been some really crappy big men here. Kirill, I think, was at the very top. Kirill was at the very top. Now Jesse Britches says, "I love slow white guys on my basketball team." Hey, why do you have to make it about race, Jesse? Come on. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll see. I'm in on Krivas, though. I am in on Krivas. We will find out. Ben One White, big fan of Krivas as well.
Yeah, I can't be proven wrong. And I backed Krivas a couple years ago. Him and Bradley, I've been right on Bradley. I appeared for a while like I was going to be right on about Krivas, but now it's.
I was going to say we'll see, but again, the jury is still out. The tape is still open. The projector is still sliding.
I like it.
If ADO could defend, he would be a starter. Well, he was a starter last year. Take that. Boom. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. All right, that's a wild question, Cody James Martin. So good. Yeah, well, that was a good question. Dennis Walsh thinks that Kirill is better than Krivas. That's terrible.
I would say this. Dennis Walsh makes a good point, but I would say that my guess is 70% of big men turnovers are either to shorter players or unforced. Maybe 80.
Right.
I mean, you usually don't see center on center crime when it comes to steals.
No, you do. Yeah, you generally don't see that.
It's like my wife always says, laments that the Cubs always give up 2-out runs, but I'm like, just based on averages, most of your runs come with 2 outs because of manufacturing stuff. So I think most of your turnovers probably do come to 6 foot or 6'3" and under players if you're a big man. That being said, he needs to cut down on the turnovers. He needs to get girthier. He needs to play like a man of girth.
No, Dusan Ristic. I liked Dusan Ristic. Dusan couldn't defend, but Dusan was good.
Dusan was good.
Yeah, Dusan was really good. All right,
hey, if we want to go with underrated Wildcats, let's throw on Ivan Radinovich.
Yeah, Ivan. I remember his first game when he came here. Didn't he have like 14-8 or something, or like something like that? Oh yeah,
and then didn't play for a month.
And then he didn't play, and I was like, interesting. I liked what I saw from this guy, but let's see here. All right, so. Anyways, let's talk.
Didn't he have eligibility issues at one point? There was questions about his eligibility.
Yeah, because he came over here. Are you talking about Ivan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he came over here late. He came over here mid-season. He did a very very good job. No, I like Ivan. Yeah, I remember Ivan's girlfriend as well. I was in college at the time. Ivan did very very well for himself. Cody James Martin, very very well for himself. We were very 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 happy. Okay, now yeah, Brad's back to Brad, baby. All right, hey. Also, everybody out there, get Little Caesars, my friend. Little Caesars. Brad, you got a lot of rugrats running around the house. I was going to say, you need to get Little Caesars. You can feed like a small village of kids for like $8. You get like 9 pizzas for it.
It was only a few weeks ago, maybe even, we had a little mini pool party with the twins and a couple of their friends, and Little Caesars was the way to go.
You need to use code 15off20, 15% off any $20 or more purchase. You should have done that, William Brad Alice.
Are you saying I didn't?
All right. Fair enough. Jesse Britches says he's going to real time it. Yeah. Ed Stokes sucked, by the way. I'm sorry. I've never seen anybody miss more dunks than Ed Stokes. I've never in my life seen a 7-footer that couldn't get more dunks than Ed Stokes. It was terrible.
I have a fondness for Ed Stokes. I think he was not good, but he's more maligned than he should be. Dude played in the NBA.
The what?
He played in the NBA.
All right, now, so
they didn't ban women from it, so it's not that name.
All right, yeah, sure. We talked about this earlier. You're late to the show. The step back from Noah Fifita is my fault, not his. Yes, I agree. I don't know what else to say. Noah looked like he had never played quarterback last year. I'm not putting that on Noah.
No, it's Dino Babers' fault. Right. I hate being so mean to one coach that's not Kevin Sumlin or John Macvick, but man, Dino Babers just wasn't good last year. Dino Babers was awful. Which makes no sense because he's been a competent to good coach before.
When are you wearing your toga for the Little Caesars read? Maybe I will. You don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will do that. So, all right, Brad.
Do you have a toga?
No, I don't have a toga. I got to get one. Yeah, I don't really care that much. But
I mean, really, a bed sheet will do. But
I was gonna say a bed sheet, anything. Put underwear on my head, a pantyhose, it'll all work. Okay, now, excuse me, Brad. We very much appreciate you coming to us live from Payson, my friend. I can hear the birds in the background.
You can hear the birds. I haven't seen an elk today yet, but the day's still young. We may do a little bit of hiking later because it's an off day for the boys because they got the dub yesterday.
All right, so get the geese. I was going to say, so are you going to go introduce them to some geese?
Uh, Tyler at least already saw the geese. He went fishing yesterday morning about 7 a.m. To prepare for the game. So he saw some geese. I just said, hey, watch out. My friend has had a bad experience with the geese.
Oh, they suck. Can you eat geese, or have you ever eaten goose?
I have not.
Yeah, looks like crap. So that's all. Geese suck. All right.
I've eaten a variety of birds. Goose is not one of them.
All right. William Brad Alice, we very much appreciate you. Everybody in the comments, you guys are great. Very much appreciate it. Go get Little Caesars today. For the great William Brad Alice, everybody in the comments, Cody James Martin, I am merely Mike Luke. TTFN, ta-ta for now. See you tomorrow at 10:30. Boom.